Jayatmeshwar, Samarpan Yog of the Himalayas, Part 1, Episode 6. After resting for some time, we again started walking. We used a lighted branch from a herbal plant as a torch to light us on our way. I found it very difficult to walk on the path. I had to stop again and again and had to sit down for some time. There was total darkness around us. The only area I could see, and that too with great difficulty, was that below my waist. Then Gurudev cut a path through the bushes and started walking further on. There were several bushes and stones ahead, but he was undeterred. He created a path for me and walked on, and I followed him. I was quite frightened in case we came across an animal, as we wouldn't even be able to see it. I was forced to continue walking behind him, as I could not have turned around and gone back on my own. My situation was an either do or die situation. Later, I realized that I could hear the sound of flowing water. And as we carried on walking, the sound grew louder and louder, and I understood that we were going in the direction of an area where there was water. After we had been walking for several hours, we came out of a cave. The scene outside was really beautiful. It was a wonderful natural sight. There was a large waterfall, and we left the cave quite close to it. I saw that it was flowing into a very big cave, and we were walking into the cave along with the water. The scene inside was beautiful, and there were various types of plants there. On the walls near the water, lines of a deep orange color had been etched. There was a lot of iron content in the water, and as a result, when the level of water rose, in places the iron in the water must have created different colors on the walls: orange, yellow, white, and green. It seemed as if someone had created paintings on both the sides of the pool. As we moved on, we saw that the flow of water was decreasing because it spread out into different places. Later, we saw that drops of water were falling from the roof and had been falling for thousands of years, and that a small shape like a shivling, an emblem of Lord Shiva, had been formed there. Different minerals which were contained in the drops of water settled there. We rested there and then started walking again. I was waiting to see when we would turn back, as we would have to walk the same distance back. The natural scene was really beautiful, but I was also scared and thought, where on earth are we? On top of that, the iron-laden water was falling continuously and had created various shapes. Gurudev went ahead and sat on a rock and made me sit on another rock on the opposite side and asked me to close my eyes for some time. Then he too closed his eyes after a while. Later, my eyes grew heavy and I went into deep meditation. When I came out of meditation, I found Gurudev looking at me. I felt very calm after the meditation. The surroundings had been causing a sort of fear in my mind. I had been apprehensive about whether I would be able to get out of this place. In short, I wanted to go back. But now I thought, where will I go? Why do I want to go? The world outside isn't the truth either. I have to leave this world one day. What will I do when I go to that world? Where have I come from? Where is my eternal place? Who am I? These ears are mine. This hair is mine. These hands are mine. And these feet are mine. But I am not the ears. I am not the hair. I am not the hands. I am not the feet. All these are mine, but what importance do they have without knowing who I am? Who is the master of all these ears, hair, hands, feet, etc.? This body comprises all of this, but is this body me? No. This is my body, which means that I am not the body. I am not the body, and yet this body is mine. This means that this body is the medium of I. But apart from this body, the identity of I is definitely present somewhere. Ears, hair, hands, feet, all these are visible. But that to which all this belongs is not visible. The body that has been created out of all these is also visible. But that to which this body belongs is not visible. Am I the body? No. I am not even the body, but this body is mine. Then I thought, I am not the body, but this body is mine. How can this be possible? My life began to appear like a riddle to me. I tried very hard to find out who I was, but I could not do so. Gurudev understood my state of mind. He said, if you wish to know yourself, then ask yourself the question, who am I? Question yourself 3 times in this manner, and you will understand who you are. I shut my eyes and asked myself, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And I did not even realize that my eyes had slowly closed. The moment we ask ourselves this question, our chitta goes within. We go around the world searching for everything, but we never search for ourselves. We ignore what is necessary and keep searching externally for everything else. But the moment we try to understand this question, who am I? Our inner journey commences. And when the inner journey begins, we realize that the body and I are separate. Then the I separates from the body and a spiritual revolution occurs. Gurudev started explaining further. He said, as soon as we ask ourselves this question, we get the knowledge that I and my body are separate. I am not the body. Then the illusionary ego that I have performed this deed breaks and falls away. and the feeling of guilt and disgust with oneself for having performed some wrong deed also ends, because one realizes that this wrong act happened through the body. And when I have not committed any sin, the feeling of being a sinner ends automatically. There are 2 points where man's imbalance can occur. One is the ego that I have done it, and the second is a guilty feeling that I am a sinner. Both are illusory. Man keeps swinging between these 2 positions. That is why you should understand that the good deeds which have happened through your body have not been performed by you, and give up your sense of I. Secondly, think that whatever bad deeds you have performed must have been through the body, that you have not performed them, and give them up. Do not have feelings of guilt or disgust. You should not even have the ego of success and achievements in your life, and at the same time, you should not have any guilt of being unsuccessful in life. Think of yourself as a soul, and that I am a soul is the only truth. Everything else is an illusion. You will only get out of the web of Maya, the illusion in life, if you remember this. Otherwise, you will never be able to realize the truth and will continue to wander all your life. Always remember that you are a soul and study this fact. Happiness and sorrow, passion and desire, hatred, jealousy, ignorance and delusion, fear of death, all these emotions are present at the physical level. The soul is detached from all these things. As soon as you accept yourself as a soul, you will be free of all these things. All relationships and interactions are of the body. The soul is free of these physical ties. The first step to spiritual progress is the awareness that I am a soul. Come on, wake up. We are turning back now. And he started walking towards the road. I had found the road very long whilst going there. I had difficulty in walking and went there unwillingly. But I felt light on the return journey, and moreover, my fear had gone. It was there that I had become educated. Gurudev said, "You are only the second person to visit this place. Apart from you and I, no other person has been able to reach here for thousands of years." He bent down and picked some leaves which were growing on the bank near the water and asked me to eat them. Then he started walking again. I looked around in all directions. The pace at which I was walking had slowed because my fear had gone. As a result, the distance between Gurudev and me had widened. I walked along, observing the wonderful gift of nature. I did not know why, but in jungles, all the states of hunger, thirst, and excretion reduce considerably, and even one's breathing slows down. Really beautiful paintings had formed on the walls around the water. Sometimes the figure resembled an elephant, whilst sometimes the painting looked like a crocodile or a fish. But there was no painting that looked like a human, as if there was no connection between nature and man. Or maybe nature was also influenced by its surroundings. The flowing water was very clean, so clean in fact that stones under the water could clearly be seen. The water was cold, but it was hard water, not good for drinking. You could not digest it easily. Slowly, we neared the waterfall, and Gurudev and I bathed there. The water was not very deep, but was flowing very fast. The flow was so strong that I could not even stand upright. After our bath, we again started walking in the dark cave. I looked at the caves around me on our return journey. How these caves were formed could be a subject of research for geologists who analyze rocks and ridges. As we carried on, we had to create our own path. In several places, we had to cross flowing streams. In some places, we found aquatic plants growing on some large rocks. Some of these plants also had white flowers growing on them. As we slowly came out between two big rocks, we felt as if we had returned to our own world. The whole journey felt like a dream. When we approached our cave, we saw that the plants on the opposite side were covered with flowers in full bloom, which indicated that we had been away for quite some time. Time had no meaning in that place, and one did not realize how many days and nights had passed. The same thing happens in life too. When one is having a good time in life, one does not realize how quickly time passes, how many days have passed, how many years have passed. But although the troubled times and bad moments in one's life are momentary, they stay with us for the rest of our lives. We may think that the bad times have gone, but they remain neatly arranged somewhere in our minds. And even after several years, the prick of that memory hurts and saddens us. Then, the wounds open up again and start bleeding. We are not hurt so much by the incidents as we are pained by their memories. Problems in our childhood, misfortunes in our life, bad events, bad people we have come across in our childhood, and their bad behavior, etc., leave indelible imprints on our minds. Some people even enjoy scratching their wounds again and again. They keep remembering bad incidents and being unhappy. They get a kind of joy out of the pain. They believe that they have progressed so much in their lives, where we were in our life in the past and where we are today. We've gone from beggar to king. Unknowingly, we keep feeding our egos. We keep thinking about our sorrows from the past and comparing them with how we are today. We feel happy within ourselves and tell our children too about what our childhood was like and what things are like today, how bad our childhood was and what a good life they have. Our mind enjoys this kind of comparison. We have made so much progress in life. We have reached the pinnacle in our life. This kind of comparison is especially noticed at the economic level. First, a person specifically notices that his financial condition has improved. But you were not happy then, and you are not happy now. You were unhappy then because you did not have money, and although you are rich now, you are unhappy as you didn't have wealth then and you keep thinking about it. Until you realize that despite having wealth now, you are still unhappy. How could you have been happy in your childhood even if you were rich then? Wealth is a lifeless tool. No one can be happy because they have it, and no one can be unhappy because they do not have it. Happiness and sadness are states of mind. They exist or don't exist based on your belief in them. If you accept the situation, there is happiness. And if you do not accept it, there is sadness. Yesterday's sorrow was due to lack of wealth, and today's sorrow is at the physical level. Thus, both are perishable. A person's wealth can neither give him joy nor his body happiness, because I am neither wealth nor a body. Then how can both of these make me happy? Both these are lifeless, illusory. And because my existence is separate from them, I have realized that I am a soul. I am not a body or wealth. My physical body and wealth cannot give me happiness. Only my soul can give me joy, and only the joy that my soul gives me will be the real happiness, which will be called inner joy. Happiness of one's soul is not possible through holding things. It is not obtained by collecting things. The joy of one's soul always comes through sharing. The wealth one has collected can give physical joy because both the body and wealth are perishable. One perishable thing can definitely give happiness to another perishable thing. That is why donation has been given importance in various religions so that you may accrue wealth in your life and be happy. And at the same time, you will also experience inner joy. One can obtain inner happiness only by giving. It is only donation that keeps your soul happy and joyful. That is why donation has a lot of importance in the spiritual field. One should donate in order to experience inner joy. Spiritual progress is possible only through inner happiness, because if one's soul is happy, then it will be strong. If the soul is strong, it will be able to practice devotion. And if it practices with devotion, it will progress spiritually. Jai Atmeshwar. We will conclude today's episode of the book reading here. Thank you for listening.